There's a big new flashpoint brewing between the U.S. and Israel. Amid reports of intense violence in the West Bank, the Biden administration is slated to impose sanctions against the IDF Netzah Yehuda battalion for alleged human rights abuses directed towards the Palestinians in the West Bank. This would be the first time the U.S. would impose sanctions on an Israeli military unit. The sanctions will reportedly lead to banning the battalion and the members from receiving any kind of U.S. military assistance or training. The report drew a sharp response from Israel. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has hit out against the sanctions plan, saying he has been pushing against the move in talks with American leaders. War Cabinet member Benny Gantz said, and I quote, "We have great respect for our American friends, but imposing sanctions on the unit is a dangerous precedent and sends the wrong message to our shared enemies at a time of war." The sanctions come after growing violence by Israeli troops in West Bank. 37 Palestinians have been killed and 68 others injured in the past 24 hours, the ministry added in a statement. Israeli forces launched the raids on the New Shams area near the Palestinian city of Tulkarem on Friday. The Israeli army released a video that it claimed showed its operation in Tulkarem. Hundreds of Palestinians marched in a funeral procession carrying the bodies of the two men killed in the settler attack on the village of Akraba in West Bank. According to the mayor of Akraba, some 50 armed settlers attacked members of his community and fired at the Palestinian youth, killing 2 of them and wounding others. The Palestine Red Crescent Society said soldiers blocked its ambulances from reaching the area and tending to the wounded. The latest skirmish is just one of the incidents that has taken place in the recent past. The West Bank, which Israel has occupied since 1967, has seen a surge in violence in the past year, particularly since Israel's war on Gaza erupted in October last year. And for more on this, we earlier spoke to Scott Lucas, who is a professor of international studies at the Clinton Institute in Dublin, and this is what he had to say.
Even as this action is being taken, the U.S. House of Representatives passed a bill yesterday authorizing almost $20 billion in further military assistance to Israel. If the United States government really wanted to limit the Israeli military, whether it was in its actions on the West Bank or perhaps more significantly, the mass killings in Gaza, it would restrict military aid or even cut it off. But there's no sign that the U.S. government's going to do that. There's no sign that the U.S. government is going to take action to demand an unconditional ceasefire in Gaza. So, the Israeli government, for its own people, was going to have to come out and say this is unacceptable. But the current, albeit tense, U.S.-Israel relationship is going to continue where Israel has space for its military operations, especially in Gaza, even if the U.S. is saying to the Israelis, look, you really need to rein in the extremist settlers and rein in your military in terms of the violence against those who are in the West Bank.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.